Ukraine just launched another drone attack on one of Russia's most important oil facilities. And this time, the ripple effects reached the global oil market itself. This is Putin's Sheskharis oil terminal in Novorossiysk, hit by Ukraine so many times now that Russia has had to shut it down entirely more than once. In the middle of the Ukraine-Russia war, this single port has become one of the most repeatedly targeted places in the country. Ukraine's GUR military intelligence recently used naval Sea Baby drones to breach Novorossiysk harbor directly and strike the Sheskharis oil terminal from the water, a departure from the usual long-range aerial drone attacks, and a sign that Ukraine is now capable of hitting this target from the sea as well as the sky. Sheskharis isn't a random target. It's Russia's most critical Black Sea crude export node, the final endpoint of a major pipeline system, and it typically ships around 700,000 barrels of oil a day. Here's what makes this story different from a single headline. This terminal has now been hit repeatedly over the past several months. Ukrainian forces struck it on the night of March 1st into 2nd, again on April 6th, again on May 23rd at the connected Grushovaya oil depot, and again on the night of June 7th into 8th, where residents reported hearing around 50 explosions before smoke engulfed the storage facility. Each strike has targeted a slightly different part of the same complex: loading arms, control valves, storage tanks, pipeline infrastructure, showing a methodical campaign rather than a single lucky hit. And the consequences of hitting this specific target reach far beyond Russia. Following one of these strikes, Russia had to temporarily suspend exports of 2.2 million barrels per day, enough to represent roughly 2% of the entire world's oil supply, according to Reuters. This wasn't just a regional inconvenience for Russia's own economy. It was a strike with a measurable effect on global oil markets, however brief. After the April strike, the terminal's main berths for large Suezmax and Aframax tankers sat empty for days before partial operations resumed. Here's something that adds real complexity to this story. Novorossiysk is also home to the Caspian Pipeline Consortium terminal, sitting right alongside Sheskharis. And among the CPC's shareholders are American oil majors Chevron and ExxonMobil. When Ukraine's military announced its strikes, it specifically named Sheskharis, but conspicuously did not mention the CPC facility next door. That's a notable distinction, given that damaging a facility with direct American corporate ownership would carry a very different set of diplomatic implications than hitting a purely Russian state asset. There's another layer to why Ukraine keeps returning to Novorossiysk specifically. After repeated Ukrainian strikes on occupied Crimea made Sevastopol too dangerous to rely on, Russia relocated a significant portion of its Black Sea fleet to Novorossiysk instead, meaning the same port now houses both a critical oil export terminal and a major concentration of Russian naval assets. Earlier strikes on the port have damaged more than just oil infrastructure. Ukraine's general staff has confirmed hits on an S-400 air defense launcher and radar system stationed there, and analysts have spotted damage near piers, where Russian anti-submarine ships are docked. That combination is exactly why this single location keeps reappearing in strike reports. It lets Ukraine pressure Russia's oil revenue and its navy with the same operation. And what happens after each strike says a lot about how Russia is managing this pressure. Russia's defense ministry has repeatedly accused Ukraine of trying to destabilize the global hydrocarbon market and cut off oil supplies to European consumers, turning each attack into a talking point about global energy security, rather than acknowledging the military logic behind the target. Meanwhile, on the ground, Transneft's subsidiary Chernomortransneft has had to repeatedly extinguish fires, repair loading arms, and resume partial shipping within days each time, a pattern of rapid, expensive repair, followed by another strike weeks later. So why does one oil terminal matter more than the fire itself each time? Because Sheskharis has become a real-time test of how much pressure Russia's oil export system and the Navy sharing its harbor can absorb before something breaks for good. Hit again and again, tied to American corporate interests next door, and powerful enough to move global oil markets, even for a few days at a time. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns like this one.